Chatham-Kent Cougars football back on the air with TV Cogeco, and we're glad that you're here today. It is the Varsity Cougars looking for their first win of the 2014 campaign, and they're kicking the football off to the Twin Cities Predators. Cougars do win the opening toss. They defer to the second round, and the Predators will take the football at around their own 20-yard line, and good job by the Cougars D to minimize the return.
On the return.
Dane Herron with the return for Twin Cities. With some decent field position around the 25-yard line. That's where they'll start.
Good stop there by Alex Gardner on special teams for the Cougars, number 35. As you mentioned, Mike, the Cougars looking for their first win of the season, and speaking with head coach Jeff Green before the game, key is going to be getting off to a good start, and probably safe to say that the defense is the strength of the squad so far this season.
Little bobble off of the opening snap, and a couple of flags are on the field as Mitch Koenig got the football off the opening snap, but it was blown dead early. And you think this one is against the Predators, but we'll get the final call here.
Yeah, you got to figure somebody started a little too early. So 5-yard penalty, and they'll replay that first down.
Ball started back, the Predators up 5 yards. Bring up first down and 15 from the 20.
First and 15 for Twin Cities out of the shotgun. A little cleaner with the snap this time around. They keep it on the ground and up the middle, past the original line of scrimmage. This will still bring up second and fairly long for Twin Cities.
On the carry.
It was Mitch Koenig with the carry that time, and that's a name that we will hear a lot today. Speaking with the coaching staff for the Twin Cities Predators, Koenig is going to see a bulk load of the carries because their quarterback, this is just his second start in the league. He does play high school quarterback, but just his second start in the league, so they say they're going to run the ball a fair bit. And, of course, as I say that, they throw it.
They threw it off to the far sideline. The pass is complete. Needed good 10 yards for the first down. And it looks like they get about 6 on that passing play there, so that's going to bring up third and about 4. Looks like a long 4.
Forced out of bounds at the 31-yard line at Chatham-Kent, brings up third and 5.
And I mentioned that Mitch Koenig name, the running back that we should hear a lot of. He is one of the top running backs in this league at the varsity levels. So again, that number 27, Mitch Koenig, a name that you will hear a fair bit today. Good job by this Cougars defense, though. 2 and out and forcing a punt.
And it's a blocked punt. Great coverage for the Cougars. A blocked punt, and that's going to put the football in their hands at extraordinary field position inside the 25-yard line. So great special teams and fantastic coverage here by the Cougars.
Great job there. Number 11, one of the top athletes for the Cougars, Nathan McIntyre, coming in to block that punt. And we talked about the Cougars needing to get off on a good start here, and that's certainly a way to do it. Your defense forces them on a 2 and out, and then you get a great play on special teams from McIntyre. So great field position here for this offense to take over to start this game.
And Marcus Shad will be under center in this game for the Cougars. And from the 18-yard line, Cougars begin this offensive drive. First and 10, Shad out of the shotgun position, hands it off, and they'll keep it on the ground. A little bit of room to move on the inside and some positive yardage. Good run there by Jacob Broad, number 21 for the Cougars.
Yeah, Marcus Shad, the starting quarterback today because the usual starter, Jalen Butcher, away at a baseball tournament in the U.S. So Marcus Shad, who has played in, I believe, all the games for the Cougars at some point throughout the season, gets the starting nod for the first time this season.
1 yard picked up by Cougars on the ground. 2nd and 9. Shad once again getting the snap, and quickly the defense gets through and takes down Shad. That is a quarterback sack and some precious yards lost there for the Cougars. So that's a quick drive offensively for the Cougars after the block punt.
Number 95, Yalkun Sakir with the sack, and not a lot of time for Shad there. Sakir was on top of him pretty quickly, so the Cougars going to look to put some points on the board here with a field goal attempt. This one looks like it's going to be about a 32, 33-yard attempt.
Snap is low. Trevor Niven with the kick. It is up. And it is through. That's a good field goal for the Cougars, so they are still able to take advantage of some great field position off of the block punt and turn that into 3 points as Niven boots it through. So 3-0 the Cougars, Varsity Cougars with an early lead on the Twin Cities Predators here at the complex.
Yeah, it's unfortunate they weren't able to move the ball, but they do come away with the 3 points and an early lead, something I don't know that we've seen from the Cougars yet. This might be their first lead of a football game this season. Speaking with the coaching staff, certainly Jeff Green wants to see his team get off to a good start, as we mentioned, but one of the keys is he says his offense just hasn't gelled yet, and that's led to the defense being on the field a fair bit, and that's kind of cost them in the second half of games. They're just on the field too much, so hoping to avoid that here today.
Good go around the first time around for the defense for the Cougars, looking for a carbon copy here. The Predators keep it on the ground in a minimal pickup on 1st and 10. And Kernick, as Mike mentioned, we'll hear a lot of his name throughout this football game. He gets only maybe a yard on 1st and 10, so 2nd and long coming up here for Twin Cities.
Nice play there by number 43, Thomas Van Ray, just coming up in the hole and making a good tackle down around the shins. Kernick with, as you mentioned, Mike, minimal gain there, just about a yard.
And pass to the right and some good yardage here. Yards after the catch. It's going to be a first down for Twin Cities, as that one brought in by Corey Jones for the first down for the Predators.
A good job there by the wide receivers for the Predators, getting up into the bodies of the defensive backs and allowing him to get up to that first down marker. As we mentioned, it was 2nd and long, but he picked up the 9 yards and more to give the Predators a fresh set of downs here.
Up to their own 48-yard line, 1st and 10. They keep it on the ground once again. And a gain of about 3 that time around. And Kernick again with the carry. 2nd and 7 coming up.
Stopped by Josh Billingham and Carter Claridge. Gain of 3, 2nd down, 7.
Good looking night tonight here too. The wind not a lot of a factor. It is blowing, but kind of across the field. When I was down on the field, could feel it. Doesn't look like it's going to have too much of an impact on the passing game here tonight. So some good looking conditions out there. Temperature around 27-81.
Nice evening for football on 2nd and 7. That looks like a little bit of a cross-up on communication there. That pass intended for Mahori, and it falls incomplete on 2nd and 7. So that brings up a key 3rd down here, and another good job by the Cougars on defense.
Yeah, as I mentioned there, that's Colin Lloyd, number 84, the quarterback. Just his 2nd game starting here at this varsity level. So the fact that they've got a strong running game and an inexperienced quarterback, it's the perfect recipe, the formula to basically run the ball all night.
Second punt attempt for Twin Cities. This time it does get kicked away, and it falls out of bounds outside of the 40-yard line. So it's a decent punt there for Twin Cities. And the Cougars certainly will take this field position here as they take over. 9:57 to go in the first quarter.
Well, we'll see if this 3-0 lead helps to give this offense some confidence and see if they can't turn this into something here with their 2nd possession of the first quarter.
Get Marcus Shad with the starting quarterback duties here tonight. And the Cougars benefiting from a very good field position the first time around after the block punt, where they had the ball inside the 25-yard line. See what they can do with the second turn with the football here tonight. Shad once again out of the shotgun position. Takes a high snap, but that long frame pulls it in. Now he goes to the air, and that one too high for Max Fantus to haul in, about a foot over top of his outstretched hands, and falls incomplete. 2nd and 10.
Just out of his reach.
Yeah, Fantus, the big tight end, who we also see play some running back as well. We've seen here from this football team, kind of a utility man, if you will.
Jack of all trades.
Sure.
2nd and 10 from the 34-yard line. Once again, a high snap brought down by Shad. He goes to the air once again. A lot of air time, and it comes down incomplete. I had to see if that one was brought down by Dwan Mayu or not.
Dwan Mayu is going to want to have that one back. He had it in his hands, but just couldn't pull it in, and it falls incomplete. Marcus Shad obviously didn't get all of that pass either. It just kind of hung up in the air, but certainly Dwan Mayu had a chance to pull it in and just couldn't pull it in to make the completion. And Marcus Shad has a strong arm. We've seen that already. Even though that one looked like it kind of slipped out of his hand a little bit, Marcus Shad can launch it downfield. So receivers certainly going to have to be heady today to be aware that if Marcus Shad's really flinging it, they're going to keep those legs moving.
Good opportunity for a big gain there, and very high snap, but still Cougars able to punt this one away, and a bouncing football comes down to the 40-yard line for Twin Cities, and they'll get as far as midfield and into Cougars territory, the 50-yard line. So good field position here for the Twin Cities Predators after some tough luck there. That last drive for the Cougars, again, they go 2 and out.
Yeah, that's the difficult part. If your offense is just kind of lacking that that gel that you want them to have, where they're able to kind of hum as a nice well-oiled machine, it puts a lot of pressure on your defense. And typically the Cougars' defense has been up to the task in the first half, but fatigue eventually kicks in, and that's when it really hurts you, is the second half of football games.
1st and 10 from the Chatham-Kent 50-yard line for Twin Cities, and that pass is caught. A minimal gain. Good job by the Cougars defense to wrap up the receiver there. That time looked like that was Lam Ding who brought that one in from the quarterback.
I think it was Zach Goodaber who came in, number 42. Good wrap and tackle that time. No gain after the catch. That's exactly what you like to see. Twin Cities, the Predators, did a good job of picking up the blitz that time by the Cougars right up the middle. But good job by the defensive back there to make the tackle.
2nd and 5 for Twin Cities. Another completed pass and getting around a couple of defenders. This is going to be 1st down and a whole lot more here for the Predators, as that one brought in again from Lam Ding, and that's going to put the football deep into Cougar territory here with under 8 minutes to play in the first quarter.
Ding puts a ding in the Cougars defense. Just makes that easy catch right in the middle of the football field, then uses that big frame and speed and picks up some extra 10, 12 yards after the catch. Oh, there's a bad snap.
And a bad snap, and the Cougars, they're booting it. Football goes way back. It's still loose. It's still out. Seems like every football player out there is trying to get on it, and it finally is wrapped up at the 50-yard line of the Cougars. The Cougars did recover as Claridge was finally the player that hopped on that bouncing football all the way back to the 50-yard line at Chatham-Kent. There is a flag down, however.
Yeah, that flag is going to be against Twin Cities. It was as the Cougars were running to try to recover the football, the quarterback for Twin Cities
that's where they are based.
It is where they are based, but the quarterback for the Predators dragged down the Cougars player who was trying to get possession of the football before he got there. So, of course, the Cougars going to decline it and take the football because they did end up recovering that fumble eventually.
So the Cougars gaining well over 30 yards there, and they get the football after that bad snap for Twin Cities. So back on offense for Marcus Shad and the rest of the Cougars crew. Now a flag is quickly out, and nowhere to go for Jacob Broad on the ground.
Again, I think this one going to go against the Predators. Looked like they were across the line of scrimmage just about a half second too early, and that's exactly what it is. It is against Kitchener-Waterloo.
So a couple of big gifts for the Cougars as they get 5 more yards. 1st and 5 coming up here. Football's coming back to the 45-yard line of Twin Cities. About 2 minutes ago, it was around the 30-yard line at Chatham-Kent. These are the kind of opportunities that the Cougars have to pounce on here, and especially early on in this football game, halfway through the first quarter, and they're up 3-0. Again, Shad out of the shotgun. Back to pass, trying to find somebody open along the near side. Got somebody, and dropped by Max Fantus. A couple of chances early on for Fantus. First pass was about a foot over his head. That one seemed to be right in his breadbasket. He did have a couple of defenders on him, but just couldn't hang on to it.
And that was a tough one for Fantus because he's looking back over his shoulder, trying to just gauge that football just right, and it did hit him right in the hands. Beautiful pass by Shad, but Fantus, it was just a tough play to make with the angle of that ball coming into his body and just hits his hands, then hits the ground.
Quick pass on 2nd and 5. The pass is complete, but good job by the defense of Twin Cities.
Quick screen pass to Dewan Mayu.
And Mayu was the gentleman with the catch. Looks to be still about 3 yards shy of the first down. Third and they're saying a long 2 here, so decision time for the Cougars.
Looks like they're making substitutions, bringing the special teams unit on. Looks like they're going to kick this one away, unfortunately. Might not be a bad spot for a fake, though. 3rd and 2, like you said, a long 2. Not bad position of the field here to try something like that. 2 men to receive here for the Predators. And of course, it's Trevor Niven back to punt this one away. And now we've got a timeout from Kitchener-Waterloo. So you got to imagine maybe the coaching staff thinking the same thing here. Probably not a bad spot for the opposition to go for a fake punt, try to pick up that first down.
42-yard line of Twin Cities. It's where the football is. Just 2 yards until a first down, but the Cougars electing to kick this one away. 3-0 lead. And Varsity Cougars still looking for their first victory of 2014. Timeout for Twin Cities comes to an end. Cougars in the punt formation. And they will punt this one away, trying to knock this one deep into Twin Cities territory. It is gobbled up very deep, and receiver brought down around the 25-yard line, so good job by the coverage of the Cougars' behalf. 5.5 to play in the first quarter.
Well, best drive that we've seen from the Cougars offense that time. Unfortunately, it just stalls there at the 42-yard line, but certainly a positive note. Couple positives here early on to start this game, and that's exactly what the coaching staff was looking for. Get off to a good start, which they have. The defense hasn't really been on the field all that much so far. It's also a good sign. So a few positives here in the early going of this football game with under 5:20 to go in the first quarter.
1st and 10 here for Twin Cities. They elect to keep it on the ground. And a few yards on 1st and 10 for the Predators.
Big pop that time on Mitch Kernick.
Stop by number 50, Dorian Payne.
Good job by that Cougars D. Really short gain that time.
Gain of 2,
Not for lack of trying from Kernick, as he kept those legs pumping as best he could, but the Cougars right on him. 2 yards on the gain, so 2nd and 8. Another big chance here for the Cougars defense to get the offense back on the field. A short pass is caught, but well short of the first down. Looked like he only picked up about 4, maybe 5 on that 2nd and 8. And that looks to leave the football 3 yards shy of the first down. So again, the Cougars defense quite economical here with a lot of 2-and-outs early on in this game.
Yeah, that was a good catch by Corey Jones, number 8, but good job by Josh Collins of the Cougars to make the tackle immediately. And short of that first down, another 2-and-out here from the D. And you can't ask for much more than that. Good job here, and the Cougars starting to win this field position battle and maintain it.
And they look to get the football back in relatively decent position here, too. Kick comes down around the 50-yard line, picked up by the Cougars. flag is down. Perhaps no yards call here. A nice job by the Cougars along that outside, getting some decent yardage on the return. Still on his feet past the 35-yard line, past the 30.
Number 82, Ben Bartlett with a nice
And
return.
good job by Bartlett of the Cougars. And we'll see what the flag is officially here, but
There is a flag down.
good field position here for the Cougars.
Boy, this was not sure if this was a holding call back here.
The flag itself is at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, it was right around the area where the ball was corralled. I'm not sure if it was a no yards. No, it looks like they're going to march it back. So I wonder if it was a marginal no yards call, but
The initial signal
no.
is a hold against Chatham.
It's a hold against the Cougars. That's a tough one to swallow, especially after that strong return from Ben Bartlett. That's a real shame.
That will bring the football to around the 35-yard line of Chatham-Kent. So you're taking a whole pile of yards off of the board there. Good job by Bartlett to bring it down the field, but it goes all for naught. And the football will belong to the Cougars, but certainly not in the position they thought they were getting the football with 3:57 left in the first quarter. Chatham-Kent does have a 3-0 lead. Marcus Shadd and the rest of the offense going back to work. On 1st and 10, Shadd back to pass. So a short little dump pass and off of the fingertips of the intended receiver, off of the screen pass, and falls incomplete. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Boy, that's too bad, too. They had that set up perfectly. Beautiful screen play by the Cougars, and the pass by Shadd just a little bit too strong and just off the hands of the receiver, but he had a couple of teammates out in front of him to clear the path and just couldn't pull it in. That's unfortunate. Those touch passes sometimes can be real tough, and that one just falls incomplete.
On 2nd and 10, a little bit of pressure on Shadd as he scrambles off to his right. He's going to keep it himself and trying to get as much yardage as he can. He will fall short of the first down. But after initial trouble, still able to get about 6 yards himself.
Gets it out to the 40-yard line before being stopped. Stopped by number 49, Gregory Zapp.
So 3rd and 5 coming up, and once again another 2 and out here. So what looks to be fairly promising on the outset stalls for really both offenses in this first quarter.
Yeah, some pressure there again from the Predators, and one of the things that the head coach was telling me they do like to do is blitz. Once again, they come with the extra man. Looked like they came with 2 extra men that time, and forcing Shadd to roll out of the pocket, which isn't a problem because Shadd's a pretty good athlete. Typically plays wide receiver for the Cougars, but just couldn't escape the pressure enough that time to get the first down. Did get some yardage, but just not enough, and forced to punt it away.
Niven's punt gets out of bounds roughly at the 50-yard line of Twin Cities. 2:36 to go. 3-0 Cougars with a slight lead as we're getting to the latter stages of the first quarter. And the good defense for Chatham-Kent hoping to continue here. And the Predators, number 8 turning the corner. Flag is out, still on his feet. Pardon me, number 9 for the Predators, finally hauled down to the 40-yard line. Tyler Majori.
And that one's going to come back. There is a block in the back on the defensive back around the line of scrimmage. It was number 20 for the Cougars, Jesse Stewart, who was blocked in the back, and the flag came out right away. And that's the signal right there, that run coming back here against the Predators.
So the football back to around the 35-yard line.
Holding call on Twin Cities. Puts them back to their own 35-yard line. First down.
And going to be 1st and 20 here for the Predators. Once again, they keep it on the ground. Big hole along the right side. Big gain here for Twin Cities, and they're going to get the first down Another great run from Mitch Kernick. He just found every hole he could. And he's pushed out of bounds at the 50-yard line of the Chatham-Kent Cougars. So on a 1st and 20, no big deal for the Predators that time around as Kernick continues to impress on the ground in this first quarter.
Yeah, Kernick there just taking advantage of the space that he had on the outside. The defensive back for the Cougars on that side just get tangled up inside. It's a tough spot to be. Defensive backs, you got to make that contain on the outside and force the play back inside. But that time, Kernick gets around the corner and pretty good gain.
Again, they keep it on the ground, and another decent gain here on 1st and 10. Still Kernick on his feet, trying to get his first down once again. It's going to be close from this vantage point. Looked like, yeah, he got about 11 yards on that carry, so the chains will move once again. And it's turning into the Mitch Kernick show in this first half on the ground for the Twin Cities Predators as they look to get on the scoreboard. Down 3-0 as the Cougars defense have had a great first quarter up until this drive. This seems to be the most fruitful drive so far in the first quarter offensively for the Twin Cities.
Yeah, it certainly has been, Mike. No doubt about that. They're starting to get that running game churning now.
And a great job defensively as Braden Fisher got in the way of the quarterback, the receiver, and the football. Right after the quarterback let that one go, Fisher flying through the air knocked that football down.
Yeah, Braden Fisher just swallowed that football midair. Almost looked like he could have caught it, but of course the velocity of that football just released from the quarterback's hands. Tough catch to make, but beautiful job by Braden Fisher with his Superman impression, knocking that one down and falls incomplete.
Colin Lloyd with the football in the shotgun position. He finds his man. That is a completed pass. 3 Cougars on Corey Jones, who hauls that one in.
Wow. Surprised that wasn't a penalty. The man with the football there, number 9 for the Predators, Tyler Majori, threw the football at one of the Cougars and struck him, but the referee decides not to throw the penalty flag for whatever reason.
Brings up 3rd down and 1.
Typically that's an automatic flag right there, but not that time.
You would think so. 3rd and 1, they're going to go for it here. This will be the final play of the first quarter, and they keep it on the ground, and wrapped up really rather quickly was Kernick. That will be enough, though. He got his yard for the first down. As they do signal the first down now as we begin the second quarter. Took them a while to officially signal the first down.
That play does result in a first down and also brings us to the end of the first
And both teams will switch sides of the football field here at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. And the Varsity Cougars with a 3-0 lead on their counterparts from Kitchener-Waterloo. The Twin Cities Predators did a good job defensively in that first quarter for the Cougars, but the Preds now knocking on the door. And this by far has been their most successful drive early on in this game. So Cougars defense will have to tighten up a little bit here.
I think this is, as you mentioned, Mike, the best drive that we've seen from Twin Cities. Prior to this drive, really, the Cougars, I believe, they'd all been 2 and out. So taking a while here for Twin Cities to get rolling on offense. A credit to the Cougars defense, and as we mentioned at the outset, that is the strength of this Cougars team. It is on D.
Let's go, D!
1st and 10 football at the 26-yard line of the Cougars. And Colin Lloyd, quarterback for the Predators, again out of the shotgun, quickly handing it off to the running back, and he evades one tackle and then runs into a hornet's nest. And half a minute into the second quarter, Jones with the carry for Twin Cities. And actually, he didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage, so he's brought back a couple of yards. A good job there once again defensively for the Cougars. Second and long coming up here for KW.
Yeah, it was a good job from the Cougars getting some pressure in the backfield. Now we've got the officials speaking with, I believe, captains from both teams. Maybe there's some extracurriculars going on. As we mentioned earlier, there was the ball toss from one of the Predators striking one of the Cougars earlier on, and might be getting a little bit heated down there.
Big opportunity for a stop here for the Cougars defense. 2nd and 12 for the Twin Cities. The quarterback looking long towards the end zone, and it's intercepted by the Cougars in the end zone through the receiver's hands. And it looked like that is Jesse Stewart with the INT, and a big one for the Cougars. As the Predators, Colin Lloyd was going for broke there. Had a man right by the goal line. It just went right through his hands, it appeared.
Boy, what a pick by Stewart, too. It was a great play by the defensive back on that side. Struck the receiver just as the ball got there. It was perfect timing, and then Stewart just seemed to appear out of nowhere and scoop that ball out of the air, and then a nice return for the Cougars. So great job by the D once again, and not bad field position here for the Cougars after that forced turnover.
Yeah, you called it, Michael. The defense really king here so far tonight. Marcus Schad, offensive league quarterback, back on the field for the Cougars. And it looks like he didn't even get the ball handed off to the running back. He kept it himself. And looked to be a broken play early on there, and the Predators defense all over him. And that's going to be a quarterback sack.
I think that all started with the snap. It looked like Schad had a bit of a problem corralling the ball once it hit his hands. And then I think that threw the timing of the play off, and I think it was a designed quarterback run, and he faked the handoff, and as soon as he followed the running back to get to the hole, he just got swallowed up by that Preds defense and had nowhere to go.
Loss of 4, 2nd and 14. Schad looking downfield once again, trying to find his man, and they're calling that an incomplete pass. That was Alex Gardner, the intended receiver. Close to a catch and fumble, but they're calling it incomplete pass. No protest from the Twin Cities, so that's going to be 3rd and 14. Again, the ball, the 16-yard line deep into Chatham-Kent territory after that interception in the end zone. And unfortunately for the Cougars and their fans, couldn't do much with that opportunity.
Yeah, good job by the Preds defense, and Cougars going to be forced to punt this one away fairly deep in their own territory. Special teams going to be real key in situations like this.
And the kick is up and away. It comes down right at midfield. And brought past the 45-yard line. Looked to be Lam Ding, who was...
Sidney Stewart on the punt return.
Pardon me, that was Stewart. Who brought it to around the 42-yard line of Chatham-Kent. So some good field position for the Twin Cities Predators. Still looking for their first points of this football game. Came close last drive, but an interception in the end zone by Jesse Stewart. Stopped that one as they keep it on the ground on 1st and 10. Some big-time yardage here, getting through all the defenders, heading towards the end zone. And it is in for the touchdown for Twin Cities as the running back blew past everybody. Number 27 for the Twin Cities Predators. Number 1 running back, Mitch Kernick. And Kernick hits pay dirt, so not only do the Predators get the first points of their evening, but they take the lead now at 6-3 after nobody could stop Kernick that time around.
Boy, too, you know what, and it's funny, the way that play developed, it just didn't look to be all that dangerous on that far side. Looked like the Cougars defense had him corralled, but Kernick just making defenders miss, and before you know it, he's in the end zone, 42-yard scamper, and gives Kitchener-Waterloo the lead.
As you mentioned, looked like that could have been maybe a gain for 3, maybe 4, but he just kept running and kept finding room. And a 40-plus, 42-yard run for Kurnik. First play of that drive, touchdown for Twin Cities, and a 7-3 lead after the extra point is good. Setting the Cougars back on their heels a little bit, so they're going to have to find a way offensively to march that football down the field and answer here in the second quarter.
Well, I think that's going to be key here, Mike. The Cougars got their only score of this game, the field goal, after the defense had blocked a punt attempt and gave the Cougars great field position. So you'd like to see the Cougars offense muster something here on their own. And they've had a couple drives where they've moved the football but just haven't sustained it. So, and I know that's exactly what the coaching staff is looking for. They're looking for this offense to gel to the point where they can sustain drives on a consistent basis, and that just hasn't happened yet. So we'll wait and see and hope for it to happen as this game continues. Of course, the change at quarterback doesn't necessarily make things any easier with Marcus Shad in there tonight with Jalen Butcher away to a baseball tournament in the U.S. So, but sometimes, you know what, a change is all you need. You know, just a different voice maybe, or somebody that brings a little bit something different to the position. Although both Shad and Jalen Butcher, both very good athletes, I don't think there's a lot that separates the two of them. But whatever it's going to take, the Cougars just have to find it and get that ball moving on offense.
And with Marcus Shad, he was the victim of some bad luck in that first quarter where a couple of his passes dropped. It looked like, relatively easy passes dropped by his receivers, and that could have extended some drives offensively for the Cougars a lot more than they were in that first quarter. So by no means was it Shad's fault or anything like that in the first quarter. Some bad luck overall for the Cougars so far in this first half, but they have the football back just over 3 minutes into quarter number 2. Now finding themselves down 7-3, but again, the offense as a whole has to kind of gel a little bit more than they did in the first.
Yeah, certainly do. Yeah, it takes everybody on the football field. That's the one thing about football that you love so much is it's not a one-man sport. It's the whole unit playing collectively together. You could have one superstar and have on your opposition a bunch of no-namers, but you know what? It's all about how you play as a team, and this team's just got to come together and find that groove, if you will, to get the ball moving.
They leave it on the ground on 1st and 10 and really nowhere to go for Chatham-Kent. And Kellett with his, I believe, first carry of the football game. And he gets maybe half a yard on that carry, so still second, a long 9 coming up here offensively for the Cougars. Shad with it once again, going to the air, trying to find his man along the near side, and it is. Did anybody come down with it? Nobody came down with it. The intended receiver, 83, Dwan Mayu. And Brett Newman was also right there, almost with the interception for the Predators. So it's almost like both of them were fighting for football control once it came down from Shad, but nobody came down with it. Incomplete pass, 3rd and 10.
Yeah, Dwan Mayu turns into a defensive back there because the ball just maybe a little bit underthrown, and Mayu just making sure that that doesn't turn into an interception. But the Cougars offense forced into a tough position there after they only gain about a half a yard on first down. That's not easy after a running play that doesn't go very far. Puts a lot of pressure on your offense to pick up, basically 10 yards for a first down.
Close call there, but the punt does get away. And now past the receiver. Back to around the 40-yard line is when he picks it up. He's able to get past the 50, trying to march his way to midfield, and he actually does get to midfield. Fighting hard to get that extra 5 yards on the punt return. And the Twin Cities Predators start right at midfield. 10 minutes even to go in the first half of football here at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. And the Cougars down by 4. And they had to punt it away once again.
And that was misjudged by the return man for Kitchener-Waterloo. Went right over his head, had a chance to maybe gain quite a few yards if he had caught that ball clean, but ran too far up and ball went right over his head. Still ended up with a decent return, but really you would have expected much more than that.
First down, Twin Cities.
And a no yards penalty on that one, but that one's declined.
And now the Cougars will be taking a timeout
Timeout, Cougars.
before this drive gets going here for the Twin Cities Predators. The 7-3 lead. Cougars riding a 3-0 lead for pretty much all of that first quarter as they took advantage of very, very good field position. Getting the football early in that first quarter, got a field goal and rode the defense for the first quarter, but hitting a major here early in the second were the Predators. Finally able to solve the Cougars defense in a long run from Mitch Kernick. Major score for Twin Cities. 7-3 is where we are right now. 9:58 to play in the second quarter. Cougars talking things over. Now back to football. 1st and 10 for Twin Cities. And the quarterback and the intended receiver along that far side, which was Everett Davey. I think some miscommunication there between Davey and Colin Lloyd, who threw that football. Gift for the Cougars, 2nd and 10.
Well, there's some pressure there on Colin Lloyd. I think forced that that ball over the head of the intended receiver. A bit of a duck. I think Lloyd could just feel the pressure coming in and just try to get rid of that one as quickly as possible and overshot his receiver.
2nd and 10 once again. This time, fake to the running back. Quarterback keeps it and fires it to the receiver. Looks like this will be short of a first down. That one was hauled in by Everett Davey that time around as he shifts to the near side. And a gain of at least 8 on that play, but still a yard, maybe 2 shy of the first down. So no doubt really they're going to keep the football and go for it on 3rd down here. 3rd and 2 it is.
Nathan McIntyre looked like he made the decision there instead of going for the pass knockdown, played it safe and just made the good tackle as soon as the catch was made. No yards after the catch, but he was certainly close enough where it looked like maybe he was thinking he could make a play on that football, but decided not to.
They keep the football on the ground and pile forward for the first down on 3rd and 2. So another 3rd down gamble works out for the Twin Cities. And the chains move. The clock rolls. 8:39 left to go here in the second quarter. Nice light breeze here at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. Nice evening for football. And the Cougars trying to keep it as close as they can here, trying to get maybe some more points before halftime and want to keep the Predators at bay with just 7 points so far. Back to pass once again. I believe that got a little bit. Carter Claridge got a little hand on the football, but it still got through to the receiver. And a completed pass. Not a lot of yards gained, but what I thought probably was going to be batted away by Carter Claridge, it still got to the receiver somehow.
I think Carter Claridge wondering how that got through there. Just waved that big arm and mitt, and I think, as you mentioned, just nicked that football, but didn't get enough of it to throw it off course, and the reception was made, but luckily a lot of his defensive friends were there to make the tackle, and pretty minimal gain.
Only 2 yards, and again, a timeout's going to be called. I think this one is going to be, yes, it is against the Twin Cities. Have a chat here with 2nd and 8. Pretty important play coming up here for both sides. Offensively for Twin Cities, they want to keep the momentum going here and get some more points on the board after they finally were able to break the goose egg after the first quarter. And again, on the other side of things for the Cougars, they want to kind of recover here after having a slim lead for the first quarter, gave up that touchdown, and they want to leave it here and still get some hope to get something offensively done, hopefully in the next drive.
Well, it's funny, having been told that Colin Lloyd, this is only his 2nd game at the varsity level. Again, I mentioned earlier, he does play quarterback for his local high school in Kitchener-Waterloo, but only his 2nd game at quarterback starting at the varsity level. I'm surprised he's thrown the ball as often as he has, and he hasn't done a bad job of it at all, really, to be honest with you. especially considering the fact that the running back, Mitch Kernick, is one of the better running backs at this level. So kudos to Lloyd and the job he's done so far.
Quarterback does keep the football now. He fires it down the field that close to Jesse Stewart's second interception of the game. Stewart was right there, and it just went right through his hands.
Almost intercepted by Jesse Stewart.
And an incomplete pass, just fine for the Cougars. 3rd and 8 coming up here, so they're going to kick it away, the Predators are, but he already has one interception. Looks like Jesse Stewart will have that one through his dreams tonight. I think he really wanted that one.
Yeah, Stewart, and you know, it was funny. It was a nicely thrown ball, perfect spiral, and boy, it looked like the receiver there in that area, Brandon Lowen, wasn't going to have any problems catching that one, but then Jesse Stewart just popped right in front of him, seemingly out of nowhere once again, and had that one hit him right in the hands. And usually that's why you become a defensive back. You have troubles catching the football. And we saw that right there.
They're actually trying for the field goal. This one is up, and it is a little bit wide. The Cougars running the football out of the end zone now, getting around the corner here along the near side. Get some pretty good field position past the 30-yard line. Great effort by Ben Bartlett. And Bartlett not only ran that football out of the end zone, but he gets all the way around the 32 here. So great job by Bartlett. After that field goal miss, that was a long way to go for the field goal. Got the distance just a little bit wide for Twin Cities.
Yeah, and the kicker for Kitchener-Waterloo is actually committed to Laurier. It's Nathan Mester, but that one, as you mentioned, wide, Mike, but certainly had enough leg to get there, but just off the mark.
So no points given up by the Cougars D. Exactly what they wanted to do right there as they keep it on the ground offensively as they take over. And Broad getting a few yards. I think they got about 4 yards on that carry there. So second and I think maybe 5 now on the carry. So 2nd and 5 coming up. Good running on first down by Broad. Under 6 to play in the first half. And pass is complete along that far side. They are going to get that first down. Good job to keep the chains moving there. Marcus Shadd gets a pass complete. And the football comes as far as the 45-yard line in Cougar territory. You know what? Baby steps. That's a first down. Good job by the offense that time. Keep that going.
That's what you got to do. You just got to keep converting those second and mid-range. And they had a nice run on first down. And then a good passing catch. And Bartlett picks that one up off his shoestrings and gets enough for the first down. Keep this offense on the field. Give the defense a bit of a breather.
Here's Shadd on 1st and 10. Hands it off to the running back and nowhere to go that time around for Jacob Broad. He goes backwards a couple of yards. 2nd and 12 coming up.
Yeah, it's been tough sledding down there in the trenches so far for this Cougars offense, trying to get that running game going. You know, in little spurts we've seen some success, but for the most part, Kitchener-Waterloo's done a good job at the line of scrimmage.
And a flag comes out. Somebody moved early on that one, and the pass falls incomplete on 2nd and 12.
Yeah, it was definitely defensive offside there. There's no doubt whatsoever what that call is going to be, and that's going to go against the Predators for sure.
So that eases the burden a little bit here for the Cougars offensively. Now will be a much more manageable 2nd and 7 coming up with 4.5 to play in the second quarter. Shadd back to pass once again, 2nd and 7, and that one sails over top of the intended receiver, Max Fantus. And again, 3rd and 7.
Third down and 7.
Looks to have the Cougars punting this one away once again. So again, a stalled drive here for the Cougars, which is unfortunate after they got that 5-yard penalty in their favor to bring things a little bit more manageable.
Yeah, too bad that ball by Shad just sails over Fantus. Looked like he had Fantus, who had a step on his defender, but unfortunately that ball just a little bit too strong and falls incomplete and forces the Cougars into a punting situation.
A strong kick. Comes down around the 30-yard line. Cougars defense can't corral number 1 for the Twin Cities Predators. Now a flag comes flying out. And it's Jaden Heron on the punt return. Looks like this is going to be on Mayu of the Cougars.
I think this is going against, yeah, as you mentioned, I think maybe Carter Claridge perhaps on that tackle. I think the referees were maybe concerned that he was grabbing at the helmet. Yeah, Carter Claridge. So, because he did get up around the helmet area, and I think the referees just didn't like the looks of it and threw the penalty flag there, and that goes against the Cougars, unfortunately.
With Twin Cities at Chatham-Kent 49-yard line.
So a good field position here for the Predators, 49-yard line of the Cougars. And they keep it on the ground once again. Cougars stopping them after only maybe a 1-yard gain, with Kernan getting the honors once again. Running back for the Twin Cities Predators, but good job by the D of Chatham-Kent.
Yeah, Claridge makes up for that penalty right there. He just sheds the blocker, comes in and just swallows up the running back. No chance whatsoever. Minimal gain, maybe a yard at that. But Carter Claridge, big number 99, does a great job at the point of attack. Just completely sheds his man and swallows up the running back.
Another key second down here for the Cougars defensively. 9 yards to go for Twin Cities, looking to pass it. And that will fly over top of the intended receiver, number 7. And Lam Ding, once again, the intended receiver from Colin Lloyd. Didn't work out. 3rd and 9 coming up. So, again, good job defensively for the Cougars to stop the ball from really going anywhere.
Yeah, that pass from Colin Lloyd to the outside. Really, you want that ball to the inside. And you can figure out why he's targeting Lam Ding. 6'4", he's a big target right in the middle of the football field. But just couldn't get that pass on point, and the Preds forced to into a punting situation.
And the kick once again, high in the air. Bounces around the 25-yard line. No one wants to touch it right now. And finally the Cougars do pick it up just shy of the 30-yard line. Getting up to around the 30, and that's where the Cougars will begin offensively, as Bartlett is the Cougar who scoops it up.
Boy, this first half's gone by pretty quickly. We're under 3 minutes here, 2:34 it says on the scoreboard, so pretty fast-paced first half of football here that we've seen so far.
And only an hour of real time here, so yeah, it's been scooting along certainly for the varsity class here for the Chatham-Kent Cougars. Not wanting to jinx it, of course. First and 10, Marcus Shad back under center once again out of the shotgun position. And clock moving. Quick pass. And again, that screen doesn't seem to be working very much all half long. Running game, screen passes, they don't seem to be on the same page early on in this football game.
Well, Marcus Shad has got to get that ball down. I mean, that's a tough play for your receiver when you're throwing fly balls and you've got the defense bearing down on you. That ball's got to come in with some velocity and give the receiver a chance to make a move once it gets there. Because unfortunately, you're just leaving your receiver hanging out to dry as soon as that ball comes down into his hands. It's got to get there pretty much on a rope from that spot.
So second and long here, about 16 to go for the Cougars, and Shad running out of trouble, and now he gets some positive yardage Does he get enough positive yardage? Good job by Chad. Second and very long. Looks like his own legs might have got him out of trouble there.
Yeah, it looks like this one's going to be close. We'll just take a look. I think they just signaled third down. Yeah. Boy, let's see where they mark this one.
By about a yard, I think. Maybe a yard and a half shy, but still getting 14.
Third down and 2.
Boy, and that's a tough one, too, because the Cougars haven't had a lot of success on the ground with the football. And based on where the football is on the field right now and the amount of time that's left in this football game, just a 7-3 game, the Cougars trailing. Looks like they're going to punt this one away.
Still, no matter where the football is on the field, it must be a hard call when it's only 3rd and 1.5, 3rd and 2. But playing it safe than sorry. Cougars do kick it away here with 90 seconds left to go in the first half. Football comes down around the 35-yard line. And Cougars.
Good job by special teams there.
Yeah, very good. Jaden Heron with the punt return.
Looked like it was Dwan Mayu doing a good job with the contain on the outside. Flashed his body to the outside, made sure the return man knew that he wasn't going to get around the corner, forced him to dive inside, and then Mayu made the tackle. Good job there by your contain man. That's a tough job playing contain on the outside because you're the only defense. If that return man gets around the corner, he's gone. You have no chance whatsoever. So great job by Dwan Mayu containing and then making the tackle.
Minute 23 to go in the second quarter, so it looks like the Cougars just probably happy enough to get to halftime. Down by 4, but running game for the Predators with some other thoughts and hopes there with, again, number 27, Mitch Kernick, running all over the place in this first half. He gains a whole boatload of yardage there. And well into Cougar territory, so with the minute 14, still lots of time offensively for Twin Cities to work with here to the 38-yard line.
Boy, just a little backward pass, and then Kernick just lets his legs do the work. Wasn't even sure that the Cougars were going to catch him on the outside. Luckily, they were able to make the tackle.
1st and 10, shoveled off to the running back. Different running back this time around as Kernick takes a play off and finally wrestled down around the 25-yard line. And Corey Jones, number 8, that time with the carry for Kitchener-Waterloo, but still good yardage, and the chains move.
Yeah, Corey Jones does a good job running through a tackle attempt there by one of the Cougars who came up and ran right through it, kept those legs churning, and pick up another 5 or 6 yards after contact. Under a minute to go here, and now we've got a whistle. Looks like they've got a problem with the chains.
Referee timeout on the field, equipment issues.
So both teams get a breather here with under a minute to play, 56 seconds left on the clock. It is 7-3 lead for the Twin Cities Predators. Cougars rode the first quarter with a 3-0 lead and some great defense the entire first quarter. Really the first half, the defense playing exceptionally well. Aside from one drive where it didn't take long, one play, and a long touchdown run from Mitch Kernick, who's been a busy young man on the field here in this first half. He's had a whole lot of yardage, and that long touchdown run making it a 7-3 game. That's still where we are. But knocking on the doors, Twin Cities once again, 26-yard line of the Cougars. Timeout is over, things fixed up on the field, and right before Kernick gets his run that time around, there is a flag stopping the play.
Yeah, it was looked like one of the receivers was over the line of scrimmage before that ball was snapped, so it was a pre-snap penalty. This one's going to push Kitchener-Waterloo back.
First and 15 here as the football moves back 5 more yards, 45 seconds to go in the first half. Ball goes in the air and tipped out of bounds. Nice defensive move there by Braden Fisher. We've seen a couple of defensive moves by Fisher. And that Ball's out of bounds, 2nd and 15 coming up here.
Yeah, good job by Fisher. Get his mid on that one, knock it away, and I think Lloyd probably liked that ball back a little bit. Looked like it came out of his hand a little sideways and didn't have a lot of zip on it, and gave Fisher enough time to get there. Good job, though, getting his outstretched hand on that football and making sure it fell incomplete, because certainly the receiver would have had a chance to make the catch.
And on 2nd and 15, another penalty flag falls down on the field.
Boy, they love to run that play for Mitch Kernick, that pass where he flashes out of the backfield and they throw the ball backwards to him, which is dangerous, because if it falls incomplete, it's still a live football, and then Kernick just uses that speed and elusiveness out of the backfield.
See what the call is. Kernick didn't pick up a whole lot of yards on that play. And the ball's moving backwards quite a bit here. A 10-yard penalty against Twin Cities. I think they're calling it a hold here, so all the way back to the 41-yard line. And 2nd and 25 here, so 33 seconds left to go in the second quarter, and Twin Cities now taking a timeout. Figure out what to do here, but we've already seen one big play here on 2nd and very long that Twin Cities had no problem with, and I believe that was on the legs of Mitch Kernick, who wiped out a long yardage play here. So Cougars defense will have to be on their toes here. 33 seconds left to go in the first half. Only down by 4, so they'll be, I'm sure, quite content to head to the locker room with this deficit here.
Oh, no doubt. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Nathan Mesher, the kicker for Kitchener-Waterloo, who has committed to Laurier in the fall, does have a big leg. The coaching staff tells me his range is about 50 for his long. So still probably have a shot at a field goal attempt if they don't pick up any more yards here on this second and extremely long.
I believe his first attempt was pretty close to where the football is now, just a little bit wide. Timeout over, back to football, 2nd and 25 here for Twin Cities. And they elect to kick the football. They shank the football way up in the air here on 2nd and 25.
It was a poor kick. Not what they had in mind, I'm sure. That ball almost going nowhere.
I don't think that's how they drew it up. Probably not how they drew it up.
Certainly not.
Everybody with the question mark right over top of their head right now as to what happened there. But the Cougars get the football back here. 26.6 seconds to go. Marcus Shad back to work here, and he elects to keep the football himself, not happy with what he sees downfield. It runs for a minimal gain here on first down.
Yeah, some pressure there on Shad and forced to tuck and run and then drag down. Cougars going to be happy to let this clock run down for sure as far as they can, trailing just 7-3 here.
Second and about 9.5. Shad in a whole lot of trouble. Racing to his right, gets out of it, and a pass is complete. The 50-yard line brought in by 85 Max Fantus as the first half does come to an end. So some positivity there for the Cougars offensively to head to the locker room with. A nice pass play to Fantus. So they do head to the locker room down by 4 points, and the defense largely thanks in part to them to keep this a close football game, 7-3. They had some great stops, certainly in that first quarter. Even in the second quarter, they gave up the touchdown, but the defense largely is to thank for this 4-point deficit, no more than that.
Yeah, and special teams as well, that block punt to start this one out and give the Cougars that field goal position. So definitely some things to build on. We've seen some drives from the Cougars offense. They picked up a few first downs, good to see. So there's certainly some positivity there, and we've seen some growth from the offense so far in this first half. Hopefully they can maintain that and build on it here in the second half of this football game. Probably the best position we've seen this football team in heading to halftime. We'll see how that holds over to the second half of this one.
A couple of drops, too, by the receivers in the first quarter that we saw, and some decent passes for Marcus Shad. So this could be a different football game than a 7-3 deficit.
Yeah, it could be. But you know what? You just, as a player, you can't look back on that. You got to look forward. Hope to clean some of that up in the second half of this game. But this offense, they've made some plays so far, and Marcus Shad's done a pretty good job. His first start at quarterback for this football team, with Jalen Butcher away playing in a baseball tournament across the border. Marcus Shad, not to blame for really anything here today, done a pretty good job with both his arm and his legs. And that defense, as you mentioned, a couple turnovers, and special teams playing pretty well as well.
Halftime here at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. The Varsity Cougars with a 4-point deficit against the Twin Cities Predators out of Kitchener-Waterloo. It's 7-3 for the Preds. Back with second half action with Chatham-Kent Cougars football on TV Cogeco. Seven 7-3 Predators started the second half here at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. It is Chatham-Kent Cougars Varsity Football TV Cogeco. Mike Renier and Mike James up here with you. Jeff Brooks on the camera. And the Cougars won the toss at the start of the football game, deferred to the second half. And they elect to kick here at the start of elect to receive the start of the third quarter, bringing the football out of the end zone. And still on his feet. Doing a good job after some early difficulty. Bad field position here. McIntyre bringing the football out of the end zone for the Cougars. And it will be 18-yard line. That's when the Cougars will begin their offense 11 seconds into quarter three.
Yeah, a little bit misjudged there, and that ball bouncing into the end zone, and Nathan McIntyre using some of those nifty moves to get it out to the 18-yard line here. Surprised we haven't seen McIntyre play any receiver so far to this point, because of course with Jalen Butcher away at quarterback, you take one of your receivers in Marcus Shad and make him a quarterback. So we've seen McIntyre play receiver before, but not so far in this game.
7-3, Cougars trying to erase this deficit here, and some early pressure on the quarterback, and not a lot of room for Marcus Shad to move, and he will get sacked. And second down and 13 coming up, a 3-yard loss on that play.
Yeah, that play fake just didn't slow down that defense at all. The fake handoff, they were coming full steam, and nowhere for Shad to go with that one but to swallow it.
So a slow start offensively out of the gate in the second half here for the Cougars. Second and 13, Shad of the shotgun. Dropping back to pass, looking downfield. Still can't find anybody, so he's going to keep the football himself. And pretty good gain for the quarterback of the Cougars as Shad gets a fair bit of yardage here. We'll see how much he does get. Look like a third down is coming up here.
Yeah, it looks like the kicking unit coming onto the football field here.
I think there are going to be about maybe 3 yards shy, but good try there by Shad as he keeps the football himself. And almost got the yardage he needed, but a 10-yard run, not quite enough. Actually, about a 12-yard run is what they're saying here now. But still, third and short. And the Cougars will not gamble here. They'll kick it away as the ball still rests deep in their own territory, the 27-yard line. Kicked away by the Cougars, Trevor Niven. And it comes to around midfield. So nothing doing on the first drive of the second half offensively for the Cougars. They're still down 7-3 to the Twin Cities.
Yeah, good job by there, Trevor Niven. Some pressure in his face. Kind of shifted himself over and then got that kickoff, and a good job not allowing a return. That ball takes a favorable bounce sideways, and the Predators take over on their own 50-yard line.
And a fumble off of the handoff to the running back. Who has it? The Cougars have it. And on that first handoff of the drive, the Twin Cities Predators cough up the football. Miscommunication, and the ball comes loose. Cougars pounce on it. And again, they get a gift here, the 49-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like it was big number 55, Josh Billingham. Just scoops up that loaf of bread off the ground, and the Cougars offense back on the football field. That's good news for the Cougars defense, getting another blow here. And good field position for the O.
Cougars need to have one of these chances. They've got to make good on one of these chances here, and the gifts that the Predators give them. Great field position off of the football cough-up. And again, they keep it on the ground right back to the line of scrimmage, and really not much more. And that is Jacob Broad, 21 for the Cougars with the carry. Doesn't get anything. And 2nd and 10.
Boy, just not a lot of room down there on that line of scrimmage. Defense of Kitchener-Waterloo very sound along that line. Not giving up a lot of creases for the running backs of the Cougars to run through.
Quick pass and a catch, but going the wrong way was the receiver off of the quick toss from Marcus Shad. He found his receiver, and looks like Nate Whittall brought that one down, but quickly pushed backwards by the defense of the Preds, and losing a couple on that play. So again, the offense stalling for the Cougars after they get the football at midfield from the fumble.
Yeah, that's a shame. Looked like Marcus Shad didn't have a lot of time, got rid of that football real fast, and it was the pass a little bit low, but it looked like the defenders really had the receiver surrounded in Nate Whittall, and just nowhere to go for him, and dragged down for a bit of a loss.
Lots of air on that kick, coming down around the 25-yard line of Kitchener-Waterloo, the Twin Cities, and it's past the 30-yard line. That is where Twin Cities will begin offensively here, up by 4, 7-3, just past the 3-minute mark into this third quarter.
Congratulations to Chris Claridge on the $76 50-50 win. Twin Cities will begin at their own 31-yard line.
A bit of miscommunication off the start of that play, but the pass still is caught along that far side by the Twin Cities.
Looked like just a little play action. They faked the handoff, and then a good throw there on the run from Lloyd. Puts that ball right on the numbers and brings up a manageable 2nd and about 3, maybe 4 yards.
Once again, they keep it on the ground and churning his way well past the first down marker. Number 27, Mitch Kernick, again getting some decent yards on the ground, and more than enough for the chains to move as the football comes to around the 48-yard line, still in Twin Cities territory.
Ball is at the Twin
Yeah,
Cities
Kernick
48
does a
yard
good
line.
job getting those knees nice and high, running through the line of scrimmage and getting through those arm tackles up in there and picking up good yardage. Well enough for a first down.
On 1st and 10, Kernick again turning the corner along that far side, and he passes the 45 to the 40-yard line, past the 40 to close to the 35. Another big run for Kernick, as he has not lost a step from that first half. He continues to rack up the yardage.
Ball will be spotted at the Chatham-Kent 35-yard line.
The 35-yard line, 1st and 10. The penalty flag comes out, and on the ground, hauled down by 11, Nathan McIntyre, and Tyler Majori with the carry that time around. About 2 or 3 flags on the field here.
Yeah, laundry all over the place on that play. Nice job by Nathan McIntyre, almost like he was angry making that tackle. Just whips the receiver down. That slot receiver just comes around, takes the handoff, and McIntyre was going to have anything of it, throwing him down, no problem. And it certainly wasn't a penalty on McIntyre. It wasn't any kind of a horse collar. He grabbed the jersey right around the sleeve and just flung him down to the ground. But looked like we had maybe multiple penalties on that play. We had flags come in at different times. It looks like it's going to go against Kitchener-Waterloo. They're starting to march backwards right now. Well, while they sort out what they're going to do here with the penalties, every time we're at a game out here, all I see is barbecue smoke coming from one of those homes back there.
Mm-hmm.
I really...
You just want to invite yourself over there and
I really am envious. Whenever we're out here, I'm always caught by that smoke coming out. Somebody's having a great barbecue. Every time we're here, somewhere in the group of homes back there, somebody's having something fantastic to eat.
Offside penalty on Twin
So
Cities
if you
is
live by the
declined.
Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex and you want to have Mike and I over for,
Intercepted from the
you know,
spot
for
of the
dinner,
foul, back 15 yards.
I'm sure we can bring something.
In addition to ourselves, you're saying?
I would think so, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think that's enough of a draw.
No, I agree. Actually, they'd probably give us something to not come.
Some money to stay away.
Looks like at the Twin Cities
Here's $50. Don't
53-yard
come to
line.
my house. 9:37 to go in the third quarter. 7-3 for Twin Cities, and after the dust settles, and those 3 penalty flags that were littering the field, the ball rests at the 53-yard line of Twin Cities, so it was backed up quite a bit.
The referees just explaining the penalties to the coaching staff.
Second down and 31 for the Twin Cities Predators, as they get a lot of penalties tacked on here. And looking to go very deep and trying to find a man open. It's intercepted by the Cougars. Number 12, Trevor Niven, picking that one out of the air. And rub salt in the wounds for KW there with a 2nd and 31. It falls into the arms of 12, Trevor Niven. And he gets past the 45, I believe, up to the 40-yard line of Twin Cities. So, again, good field position. Another good opportunity coming up offensively for the Cougars as the defense continues to pull the weight around here.
Those defensive backs are having quite a game so far tonight here. Trevor Niven, he can kick and he can catch. Great job there playing the center field position. Just jumps up, gets that ball at its highest point, and then a nice return after that to give the offense the ball here in really good shape, a chance to put some points on the board.
Marcus Shad once again, a little short pass that is complete along to number 82, Ben Bartlett. As he gets a good chunk of yards on 1st and 10. That's exactly what you want as he gets
Stop by 99, Zachary Martin.
about 7, at least 7 on the game there, maybe 8. Looks actually, that is an 8-yard pickup.
Looks like gain of 8 brings up 2nd down 2.
I'd almost argue that's 9. That's a pretty good gain on 1st down.
So we'll call it a 2nd and a yard and a half, so a good play there. Bartlett with the reception. High snap brought down by Shad. They keep it on the ground. There's 1st down and a lot more. Good job. Running back 21, Jacob Broad, who's had kind of a frustrating game. He hasn't had a lot of room to work with up the middle, but Broad has a good run there. And 1st down yardage and a lot more for Broad, and it's all the way up to the 24-yard line. So here's some good momentum here for offensively for the Cougars.
Good job by the offensive line, driving off that football and giving Broad a lane to run through, and he does a good job carrying a would-be tackler for the 1st down.
Shad quickly gets the football away, but that was intended for 82, Ben Bartlett, and he was not caught up to that football, so a little bit too quick out of the hands of Marcus Shad. Falls incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Shad had the right idea, lead the receiver, but that ball just a little too far out in front of Bartlett for him to make a play on it.
The 24-yard line of Twin Cities. 2nd and 10. Shad has to work quickly. Defense all up in his face there, and he is brought down. Quarterback sack, so he's going to drop a couple of yards there as the D-line of Twin Cities quick to react there. 4-yard drop.
Yeah, Shad just had no time whatsoever. Before you knew it, there was pressure right in his face. So Cougars here certainly within field goal position. You figure they're going to make an attempt at a field goal here. And of course, it's the man who made the interception and gave them some help at getting into this position. Trevor Niven going to look to kick this one up and through.
And the kick is up. Does it have enough legs? And it does. It is through. 35 yards. And it is good. For number 12, Trevor Niven. The Cougars to within 1. 7-6 now your score. Couple of field goals on the board for Chatham-Kent. And again, you take some positives away from that offensive drive.
Oh, certainly. Of course, it all started with Trevor Niven's interception and then a great return. And then the offense managed to pick up some yards after that. They were helped by a penalty against Kitchener-Waterloo. And then again, Trevor Niven comes in and puts the kick through the uprights and gets the Cougars within 1 now in this football game.
Offense back to work for Twin Cities on 1st and 10. A quick pass. Football comes to around the 40-yard line, so it looks to be close to a 5-yard pickup. Colin Lloyd, again, quarterback for the Predators.
Number 86, Benjamin Drum with the ball. Stopped by Nathan McIntyre after a 5-yard gain. Brings up 2nd down 5.
Under 6 to play in quarter number 3. They keep it on the ground once again and getting 1st down yardage, running the legs of 27, Mitch Kernick. He moves the chains once again. He has burned the Cougars a few times here tonight with some long runs.
Yeah, he's definitely a threat whenever he gets the football in his hands. He's got the speed to get to the outside and get that edge. So it makes it tough to cover him. You give him just a little bit of real estate, he can turn it into a big gainer. We've seen that already here tonight.
From the 52, they keep it on the ground past the 50-yard line, close to first down yardage on the ground. Again, Kernick getting the honors for Twin Cities. 5:10 to go, clock ticking in the third quarter.
A bit of a response here from Kitchener-Waterloo after the Cougars put 3 up on the board. This Predators offense starting to roll a little bit.
Still a very close football game. Cougars defense wants to tighten up here pretty soon on the ground. Minimal yardage this time around. Good job by the Cougars, limiting Kernick to 3 yards, maybe 4. So 2nd and 6 coming up here, 4.5 to play. So clouds slowly bunching up over top of the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex, but still a nice evening. Back to pass, and that one looks to have bounced in front of the intended receiver. And 3rd down, incomplete pass, as that was a low pass from Colin Lloyd.
No, they're going to say that was a catch, I think. No? No. Perhaps not.
Looked like it bounced maybe half a foot in front of the intended receiver along that far side. Pretty close.
But nonetheless, good job by the defense. And forces, boy, they're going to try this field goal here. It's about a 50-yarder right here. Yeah, 49 yards right there.
It is. It's a line drive, and it is under the crossbar, so no good. Cougars look to run it out of the end zone. Let's see if they can do that. Looks like they do.
49-yard field goal attempt falls short.
And the Cougars do get it out of the end zone. So, again, no points on the board that time for the Twin Cities Predators. So, as you mentioned, Michael, another great outing by the Cougars defense, and that's really their strength here with the varsity level.
Yeah, it certainly is. And that kick attempt by Nathan Mesher fell short, but just didn't look like he got all of his leg into that one. It was a bit of a line drive, maybe trying to give it a little too much because of the distance. As I mentioned earlier, the head coach said his range is about 50 yards. That's his long. So that one just didn't catch it clean, and the reason why the Cougars able to run that one out of the end zone after it came up short and get the ball to the 20-yard line.
Cougars take over now, down by just a single point, 7-6. Field goal in this quarter has brought them a little bit closer. Here's Marcus Schad dropping back to pass. A little fling pass it looked like there. And that screen pass dropping incomplete at the feet of one of the defenders from Twin Cities. And 2nd down, 10 yards to go coming up here. 3:15 to go in the third quarter.
It didn't look like he had a lot of options there, did Marcus Schad. Not sure if that was the intent there, but fell incomplete nonetheless.
2nd and 10. Schad rolling off to his left, trying to find somebody open. Now he's in a world of trouble. Skates out of that, runs out of that problem area, still throws it up, and that goes incomplete. That one intended for Ben Bartlett. He was the closest receiver along that far side, and it could have been a lot worse. Scrambling out of harm's way was Marcus Schad, almost connected with Bartlett, but it falls incomplete, and it's a 3rd and 10 here for the Cougars.
Yeah, that's a shame because now the Cougars unable to gain any yards there deep in their own end at the 20, so field position here going to favor Kitchener-Waterloo after this punt. you would have loved to have seen the offense at least gain a first down or two to shift the field position a little bit, but good job by the Kitchener-Waterloo defense, forcing the Cougars into a 2-and-out.
Another good kick past midfield, picked up at the 52-yard line by Twin Cities. They will get the football just barely into Chatham-Kent territory. Does the football come loose?
Stewart on the return. Ball does come loose.
The whistle blew before that ball came out. The referees ruled he had him wrapped and he wasn't going anywhere. So, but a great job on the special teams. Good coverage. There was some real pressure there, and Trevor Niven did a good job of getting that ball away. It was nearly blocked. And then great coverage down the field. Minimal return from Kitchener-Waterloo. So great job on special teams there from the Cougars.
Twin Cities will take over at
The ball is right at midfield. Twin Cities Predators back on offense. 2:22 and counting left to go in quarter number 3. It's still a tight football game, 7-6. Colin Lloyd at quarterback. There is a penalty, actually 2 penalty flags come flying out right at the start of that play.
Kernick on the carry.
And Kernick on the ground doesn't get much at all.
I think we might have an offsides here on the defense. Looked like they were across the line of scrimmage just a little bit too quickly. Yeah, that's it. It is an offsides call.
Offside call on
So first and
Chatham-Kent.
5 coming up now for Twin Cities. Ball moves up to the 50-yard line. And swing pass along the right side, caught and almost comes loose at the end of that play.
Corey Jones on the reception.
Jones reels it in.
Stopped by Thomas Van Ray.
And close to first down yardage, and it is going to be a first down, moving the chains here for Twin Cities, just past the 45-yard line.
Ball will be spotted at Chatham-Kent 43-yard line. First down.
Trickery play there offensively for the Predators, not fooling the Cougar defense. And Konechny with the tackle as Majori had the football, as the Twin Cities Predators trying to catch the Cougars defense, napping a bit there, but quite the opposite.
Yeah, great job by Konechny getting into the backfield, and does a great job getting upfield, forcing the running back to cut down inside, and then Konechny uses that athleticism, dives down inside, and makes the tackle for a loss of about 2-3 yards. And great job by number 22 of that Cougars defense.
Under 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. 7-6 Twin Cities, slight lead over the Cougars. They go to the air once again on 2nd and 13, and ball nowhere near the intended receiver. I believe that one was targeted towards Everett Davey, but incomplete nonetheless. It's 3rd and 13 coming up, and again, Twin Cities forced to kick it away.
Yeah, and another great job by the defense. Now, I would expect they'll try to punt this one this time, but again, you just never know.
Close to a 55-yarder if they did.
It would, yeah, it would. And they will punt this one away, according to the formation.
From their own 50-yard line, and it is blocked once again, the second block punt. And they grab the football, the 47-yard line.
That was, I believe it was Thomas Van Ray, number 43, that got in there. Or was it 42, excuse me, Zach Gooderber, who got in there. And that's a big play. That shifts the field position as they flip sides to start this fourth quarter. great job by the special teams. They've come up big here today. That's their second blocked punt of this football game.
That's right, so a big motivator here offensively for the Cougars as we begin quarter number 4. And they scored the last points. They got the last field goal, so they've got something behind them here. 7-6. They've got a good kicking game if they can get in deep into the offensive zone here. Get some more points on the board. At least 3 is what they're targeting here as Marcus Shad keeps the football himself back to the line of scrimmage. And not much else, maybe a yard past the line of scrimmage. As Shad keeps it himself. Didn't see anything he liked downfield. And he had some pressure on him, too.
I think, and that might have actually been a design run. He fakes the handoff, a little play action, and then comes back the other way. But great pursuit by this Kitchener-Waterloo defense. And just had nowhere to go. Couldn't pick up a block and basically no gain.
Shad tries it again, goes to the air, and he found his man, but number 83, Dwan Mayu, just dropped it. He was relatively wide open there, and it just slipped through his hands, so that's at least the third, maybe the fourth, seemingly surefire completion that just gets dropped by the receiver.
Yeah, it's a shame. Would have been short there the first down, but you just don't want to have any negative plays, and unfortunately a dropped football. It does count as a negative play, unfortunately. It's a play that you'd like to see made and take some yards away from your kicking game.
Ball at the 49-yard line and a botched snap, and the Cougars will try and run this as far as they can. It's going to be a first down for Twin Cities. It only gets past the 45-yard line to around the 43.
Forced out by Corey Jones.
3 or 4 yards shy of the first down. And a turnover on downs. That just kind of a messy drive there offensively for the Cougars and with the special teams at the end.
Yeah, Trevor Niven really didn't have much choice. That snap was low and actually bounced in front of him just before his feet, and there was a lot of pressure coming from the Preds. He scoops it and probably could have tried to kick it while he was running, but maybe thought he had a chance to get around the corner. Not necessarily a bad decision, but unfortunately just comes up short.
Pressure on the quarterback, still gets the pass away, complete to the 45-yard line. And still about 7 yards shy of the first down, pickup of about 3.
Looks like the Cougars came with the blitz that time. Good pressure on the quarterback, and then great job of pursuit by the defense after the catch is made. No yards after the catch, and couple 2-3 jerseys get to the receiver and make that tackle with no yards after the catch.
8 yards to go on second down, and the pass is complete. That's going to be pretty close. He might actually be a little bit short of the first down, as that one was brought in by Lam Ding. Tall receiver, 6'4". So a big target for quarterback Colin Lloyd to work with. He is a yard and a half shy of the first down.
Looks like the Predators going to go for it here, although they bring in a substitute. Now it looks like they're going for it here.
From their own 52-yard line. Massive play here for the Cougars defense. They hand it off to their surefire running back, turning the corner, and a lot of yardage for big number 27, Mitch Kernick. There is some flag, at least one flag on the field.
Flag on the play.
And that one is thrown back to around the 42-yard line, perhaps in the backfield here for Twin Cities. So let's see. It looks like they're marching backwards. So
yeah, it is. I think it's going to be a hold. Yeah, it's a holding against the Predators, so probably a big reason why Kernick was able to get the corner there right in the area where that flag went down. So a hold call against Kitchener-Waterloo. Now it's a pretty easy decision for the Predators to make. They're going to punt this one away.
Kick goes high in the air. Another flag is down. This might be against the Cougars. Picked up 35-yard line, back to the 45, and
yeah,
tackled.
That is going to go against the Cougars. Nathan McIntyre was trying to get some pressure on the kicker, and as he was getting through there, he rolled up under the kicker, knocking the kicker down, and that's going to go against Chatham-Kent. And I think that's going to be an automatic first down.
And a terrible turn of events there for the Cougars. Down by 1. Instead of getting the football back, it's going to be Preds football by all indications.
It's roughing the kicker. And, yeah, that's against Nathan McIntyre, unfortunately, and gives Kitchener-Waterloo a fresh set of downs.
From the 52-yard line in Cougar territory. So a big swing right there. Pass along that far side, picked up by Corey Jones, and he gets a big gain past the 35-yard line as he took the short pass from Lloyd. And
I think that's going to be a flag against Kitchener-Waterloo. I think that's going to be a block in the back.
There is a flag down.
So the penalties escalating big time here in this fourth quarter for both sides. I think I heard the referee say after the first down was achieved.
There it is, a hold after the first down was achieved. You're right there, Mike. So it will be a 1st and 10.
There's a holding call against Twin Cities.
So that brings the football to the 51-yard line.
Twin Cities begin at the Chatham-Kent 51-yard line.
Quarterback dropping back to pass, going deep, trying to find an open receiver, and it's picked off again by the Cougars. Nice.
Trevor Niven with his second interception.
As he gets past a couple of would-be tacklers, and now a couple of flags come popping out very late out of referees' pockets here. So I think some extracurriculars might be at play here well after the interception from Niven. As Michael says, second of the game and third interception for the Cougars in total.
Objectionable conduct against Kitchener-Waterloo now. So
Correction, 10 yards. Chatham-Kent will begin at their own 40-yard line.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see Trevor Niven play some wide receiver after a couple of catches we've seen him make here tonight.
Some sure hands on the defensive side for Niven for sure. 40-yard line, and again, some early movement by the Cougars, and flags come out once again.
I think this might be a bit of a false start on the Cougars. Yeah, there it is. Procedure call.
Procedure call goes
a little bit
against
too
Gallup,
early.
back 5 yards. Make the first and
Just
15
moving a
from
little
around
bit before
35.
the snap.
So 1st and 15, ball rests at the 35-yard line of the Cougars. Down by a single point, 10:30 left in quarter number 4. Shad rolling to his right, some pressure right in front of him, scrambling, still trying to find somebody open, and juggled by a couple of players, almost intercepted there. That one intended at the last moment to Ben Bartlett.
Good job by Marshall McCormick to actually bat that one down to make sure it wasn't intercepted.
That was very close. Second down and 15. As Shad was desperate towards the end of that play, just trying to find Bartlett on a whim. And almost picked off. Dropping back to pass once again. Shad tries to find Bartlett, but again, well over top of his head. And luckily over the top of Jake Skrinda's head, too, the defender number 4 for the Twin Cities Predators. Falling incomplete. 3rd and 15, under 10 to play in the fourth quarter. And again, Cougars have to kick it away. Line drive kick comes down around the 35-yard line, and some room to move for Jaden Herron, number 1 for the Preds. He's got some speed, and he's used it with some kick returns and punt returns here for the Predators as he gets the football right back to midfield. And 9:38 to play in this fourth quarter. Keeping it on the ground to about the 50-yard line, just past the 50. And again, number 27, Mitch Kernick on the carry. He gets half the distance to a first down.
Well, you really see the quickness of Kernick there. He runs into the back of the offensive line and just bounces off it. He's so fast to just change direction and picks up what looks to be a difficult play into what he makes look easy, an easy 5 yards.
2nd and 5. Again, they hand the football to Kernick, and he has no problem picking up the necessary yardage to move the chains. Gets about 7, maybe 8 on that play. Past the 45-yard line, chains will move. 1st and 10 once again here for the Predators.
Kernick starting to gash this defense a little bit. That speed really starting to pay off here.
And this time around on the ground, the Cougars defense up to the task, and not much movement at all. Maybe it comes backwards a little bit as Kernick has nowhere to go.
It's a good job by the defensive line right there, and they got a little help from the sidelines. Everybody calling out if it's a run or a pass right away.
Loss of 1 brings up 2nd down.
Defense right beside the Cougars bench.
Loss of 1, 2nd and 11. And again, trying to go deep. Quarterback for Twin Cities, that falls out of bounds, incomplete from Colin Lloyd.
Pass goes out of bounds.
I think the referee caught it over there on the far sidelines.
Brings up a 3rd down and 11.
We're going to have to make up a new stat sheet here with the Zebras.
Referee receptions. 3rd and 11. Predators will kick this one away. Still 7-12 and counting to go in the fourth quarter. Good snap and a high kick. Not a lot of distance to that one. Falls out of bounds. Cougars take over offensively yet again. Offense have been sputtering pretty much throughout the entire game.
Kick goes out of bounds.
Cougars need just one break, it seems, here offensively in a 7-6 football game.
Yeah, you know what? It's been a little bit tough. A lot of pressure on Marcus Shad so far in this football game, with just 7:05 to go, as you mentioned, Mike. Marcus Shad just hasn't had a lot of time to plant his back foot and scan the football field. for an open receiver. It just seems like he's really getting rid of the ball quickly, and this is the time of the football game where he needs just that extra second or two to look for an open receiver and not worry about getting pressure right in his face.
Cougars taking a timeout here with 6:55 to go in the fourth quarter. First down and 10, 25-yard line of the Cougars. Marcus Shad under center with the football scrambling to his right, still trying to find somebody downfield. He's got a couple of predators all over him. Now it's 3 against 1, and he's brought down around the 15-yard line or close to it. And a big-time loss in the quarterback sack.
Yeah, now Marcus Shad walking a little gingerly. You don't like to see that. But it's a shame. You'd like to see him throw it away and not take that big loss, but just wasn't able to get rid of the football and loses about 10 yards on the play.
2nd and 20, football backed up to the 15-yard line. Shad once again trying to land the receiver. Again, that was Mayu he's trying to find, and again, he was still about 5 yards too deep for the intended receiver. So 3rd and 20 from the 15-yard line, and the offense doesn't look any more in sync than it did early in the first quarter.
Well, the Cougars are going to have to come up with a big play at some point in this fourth quarter. Just 5:45 and counting to go here. Whether it be on special teams or defense or offense, somebody's got to make something happen here.
And that takes a Kitchener-Waterloo bounce as that ball only comes to around the 38-yard line and then bounces towards the 35. Flag comes out on the field.
I think that's going to be a no yards flag right there. So going to be fantastic field position for the Predators here.
The Cougar defense is going to be called upon to do something big yet again to keep this a one-point game.
No yards penalty on Chatham-Kent is declined.
No yards penalty is declined there, so 1st and 10 for Twin Cities.
And again, they keep it on the ground. And wrapped up after a gain of 5 or thereabouts, Mitch Kernick.
Stopped by a whole host of Cougars.
Kernick has been a force to be reckoned with throughout the night tonight.
Gain of 7 brings up 2nd down 3.
He really has been just so fast and elusive. Really shows why he's one of the top backs in the varsity level.
He gets the football once again right up the gut and quickly brought down by the Cougars.
Mitch Kernick once again on the carry.
Thomas Van Ray, I believe, Cougar brought him down.
Thomas Van Ray on the stop. And Zach Gutscheber. First down at Chatham-Kent's 22-yard line.
Gut check time here for this Cougars defense, trailing by 1.
Kernick again, he eludes a couple of tackles and finally spun around and brought down, but I think that's going to draw a penalty against Chatham-Kent here as the flag flies out.
Yeah, it's funny, that flag really came out late. It didn't come out when the tackle was made. You thought maybe from this angle, no, we're a fair distance from where that play occurred, but maybe it was going to be a horse collar, but boy, that flag really came out late, and it came out from the referee at the back here. So wait to see. No flag. So what I imagine happened was that he thought from his vantage point it looked like it might have been a horse collar, but the referee that was closest to the play told him, I had a clear look at it. It certainly wasn't a horse collar, and it was a good tackle.
Result of the play, 2nd and 3 for Twin Cities. Again, they hand it off to the running back, Kernick, and he has no problem picking up the 3 yards necessary.
Once again, Mitch Kernick on the carry. Ball was out.
And when the dust settles, they move the chains. Looked like the ball did come loose very briefly. Still in the possession of the Twin Cities Predators. 3:17 and counting left to go. Ball's at the 15-yard line. Or pardon me, at the 6-yard line. They moved it up to the 6.
Now we've got a timeout here from Twin Cities. Well, this is obviously a big stand here for both teams on the 6-yard line, and 3:11 to go here in this football game with a 7-6 contest with Kitchener-Waterloo leading. This could be huge here. This could be the not necessarily the game, because it would likely still be a 1-score game depending on what would happen with the extra point or if they'd go for 2. But boy, if the Cougars defense could at least hold them to a field goal attempt, that would be a victory, no doubt.
They still have the possibility to march down the field, hopefully for a major score. But the way things have been sputtering offensively for the Cougars, that would be a tall tale. But let's see what they can do defensively here. In the red zone, deep in the red zone. 1st and goal from the 6. On 1st and 10, they give it off to Kernick. And 2nd down and goal coming up here.
Yeah, Kernick running it in between the tackles. We've seen him mostly bounce most of his runs to the outside, but that time choosing to go for the tough sledding right up the middle.
Again, they keep it up the middle on the ground, and it is going to be a major score for Twin Cities. The Predators with the touchdown. And once again, Mitch Kernick has his 2nd touchdown of the football game, and both major scores for his team. And a 13-6 lead with the extra point pending here.
Well, a lot of Mitch Kernick on that drive. Really earned that touchdown for his team. Basically carrying the load all the way down to the end zone.
Shredding up the Cougars defense on that drive there. Nathan Mesher with the point after. And it is a 14-6 football game now for Twin Cities. They have an 8-point lead and only 2:48 left to go in the 4th quarter. And the Cougars have to find something here offensively to march down the football field.
Yeah, and they've had a tough time moving the ball as of late. The Cougars have, and just haven't been able to have that sustained drive to go the length of a football field. They've had spurts where they've had some success, but just that consistency is still lacking a little bit on that offensive side of the football. And boy, if ever there was a time to find it, it's certainly now at this point in the football game. Trailing by 8 with under 3 minutes to go, it's really going to fall on the offense here to get this done, unless we see some magic from special teams, which have been fantastic so far tonight, and they certainly have the ability to bring one to the house.
A big-time return would certainly help here. 2:48 left to go. 14-6. Twin Cities Predators, based out of Kitchener-Waterloo, with the lead on the Cougars. Still looking for their first victory at the varsity level, the 2014 summertime season. Cougars bringing it as far as the 35, a little past the 35, not quite up to the 40. And McIntyre has the football return here. So that is your starting point on this drive for the Cougars offensively. And this is pretty much showtime here for them now.
Stewart on the tackle. Ball will be spotted at the Chatham-Kent 37-yard line.
Marcus Shad back to pass, going downfield, and it falls incomplete. His intended receiver, Ben Bartlett, who is speeding down the far sideline. 2nd and 10.
That ball looked like just a little too far outside for Bartlett to get to it.
Trying to find that big play offensively to light a spark for the Cougars at the end of this 4th quarter. Shad once again back to pass. Some pressure in front of him, and that pass falls well short in front of number 1, Chance Beaumont.
Yeah, the Cougars aren't going to have much choice here. They're going to have to punt this one away and rely on their defense to get a stop and get the ball back to their offense.
Down at 10, Chatham-Kent's own 37-yard line.
Oh, beautiful kick from Niven.
Lots of air under that one, and it gets
Boy,
past
oh boy.
the kick returner into the end zone, and he has to be quick to run it out of the big house, and now he's actually got some room to run along that far sideline. It takes a couple of Cougars to push him out of the 45-yard line. Both ends of the spectrum there. Some tense moments for Kitchener-Waterloo in their own end zone, and then the kick returner got some room to move along that far side.
I think it was Niven actually that made the stop, pushing the return man out of bounds. You could almost say he out-kicked his coverage. Boy, that was a booming punt from Niven. Looks like we got a penalty here against Twin Cities.
It's going a long way back.
Wow, what is this call?
And that return they got as far as I believe is the 45-yard line, and now looks to be the goal line.
Looks like it's a major foul here against Twin Cities. Blindside hit and unsportsmanlike is what we're hearing. So major foul here against Twin Cities, and boy, this is huge here if the Cougars defense can make a stand.
Yeah, make a stand or get a sack here for a safety and then get the football back. We'll have to see, but the way the Cougars defense have played, anything can happen here. On 1st and 10 from the 1, they look to get it out of the end zone, but just barely.
Yeah, it looked like they gained maybe a yard there. Boy, this is big here for this defense of the Cougars.
Gain of 1 brings up 2nd down 9.
Do get 1 on the play. Under 2 minutes now to play in the 4th quarter. Cougars down by 8, but have backed up the Predators as far as you can go. And they run it out of the end zone along the near side. A little bit of room to move now.
Mitch Kernick on the carry.
As Kernick gets it out past the 5-yard line.
Still going to be short and forced into a punting situation.
Jesse Stewart.
It's a good job there by the defense.
And Chris Van Emery in on the stop. Brings up
And this is going to set up nice field position. And when I say nice, amazing field position, you think here for the Cougars.
Yeah, you would hope so. Certainly set up to be that way. Looks like the Cougars going to come after him for the block here. Oh, they're going to concede it and take a safety.
And they kick it into a backyard, I believe.
Well, I'm just going to say it. That's a stupid play. There's no need to kick a football into somebody's backyard. All you have to do is run out the back of the end zone.
Somebody got a free football.
I hope we have another football.
Not sure what the point of kicking the football out the back of the field like that is.
Right when you're at the back of the end zone anyway.
Certainly uncalled for. All you have to do is step out the back of the end zone. And a little girl comes out and throws the ball out to the field. Much appreciated. Certainly not the brightest moment for the individual, I would say, that decided to kick that one out. Now, there's a certain level of sportsmanship that you expect, and I would say that certainly didn't live up to it.
So 14-8 now your score. After the safety, minute 22 left to go in this fourth quarter, and the Cougars will get the football back.
Twin Cities is kicking from the 35.
Well, back to the game at hand. This is certainly big for the Cougars. They now within 6.
And not a lot of distance to that particular kick. Comes down to the 43-yard line. And getting close to the 50-yard line. Good job by the Cougars and Max Fantus.
Yeah, well done there by Max. Good heads-up play to run under that football. Obviously, a directional kick there from Kitchener-Waterloo. Twin Cities looking to find a weak spot in the special teams of the Cougars, but Max Fantus heads-up play, gets back under that football, makes the grab, and then eludes a tackler and then runs somebody over at the end of it and gives the Cougars good field position here. Now it's going to be up to this offense to find some continuity when they need it the most. 1:16 to go.
Here's Shad looking to pass. He finds his receiver. A short gain, but brought down by Dwan Mayu.
Just nowhere to go. The defender there right on him as soon as the ball gets there and just not able to make a play with the football.
One-yard pickup on that play. 2nd down and 9 to go. Shad with the football. Lots of pressure on him. And now in a crowd, he's brought down. But a 2-yard loss on that one.
Well, they're going to have to go for it here. Big 3rd down now.
Loss of 2 brings up a 3rd down and 12.
Do or die.
And going deep here on 3rd and long, it falls incomplete from Marcus Shad, and that will pretty much end things here at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex in a 14-8 football game.
Well, that's a shame it has to end that way. Unfortunately, the offense just couldn't move the football there at the end when they needed it. And again, just still looking to find their rhythm. Really good effort, but unfortunately going to fall just short here tonight.
Turnover on downs. Twin Cities getting the football back at the 49-yard line. And they'll just run the clock down.
Not too much the Cougars can do, unfortunately, but just watch and wait for the clock to tick down. That helpless feeling at the end of the football game. And a good football game it was, but just coming up short. They made some big plays, but just couldn't get that one that they needed at the end.
Still looking for that elusive first win of the season are the Varsity Cougars. Chatham-Kent Cougars falling to the Twin Cities Predators based out of Kitchener-Waterloo, 14-8. A couple of field goals and his safety is all that the offense could muster tonight for the Cougars. Just wasn't really fluid, wasn't on the same page tonight offensively for the Cougars. The defense playing very well. Special teams had some good moments too, but it wasn't enough to pull out a victory tonight for the Varsity Cougars as the Preds win 14-8. Thanks for watching with TV Cogeco. On behalf of Mike James, Jeff Brooks on the camera, and the rest of the TV Cogeco broadcast crew. Keep an eye on the Cougars online at chatham-kentcougars.com. And TV Cogeco.